We're back in the woods. We're back on the Uno Burn. I've got Fox live valve fitted to the bike now, which was relatively simple to fit, to be honest. It has two accelerometers, one for the rear wheel, one for the front, and then an automatic lockout system that runs off some algorithm off your phone. Basically means that depending on the attitude of the bike, it will lock the rear shock out or unlock the rear shock. It's also got 5 different tunes of lockout as well. So you can have various different levels of support in that lockout phase. So quite a clever system, lots to unpack. I've just ridden it to this spot and it feels brilliant. It locks out when I need it to lock out and unlocks when I don't want it locked out. So I can't really ask for more, but I'd like to test it. I'd like to test it in fully open and then in the automatic mode, and just to see if it's faster. And we'll pick some uphill tracks, we'll pick some trail, we'll pick some downhill. But I love this kind of stuff. I love puzzling over suspension, and this is about as geeky as it gets. Okay, so I think the first test we're going to do is a climb test. Now I've got the shock set in open at the minute, and I'm going to start in the same gear, which is going to be 4th, and I've got a start line. I'm going to do a standing start with my foot on the floor, saddle down. I'm not going to stand up and sprint because that adds a bit of a variable, I think. And go. I just need to change the setting. There is various other options like standard or plush, but I'm going to go with firm for a climb test. I can already feel it's locked out, so let's see what this does. And 3, 2, 1, go. It felt quicker. Whether it was, it's hard, this suspension testing. Yeah, let's go find some kind of like trail section, which I think is going to be, I think that's where this shock's going to shine. Just because you've got bits where you stood up sprinting, then there's a drop, then you're like drop it up, shift down a few gears, you're going up, and then you're back into tight twisty stuff. So there's a few trails like that over there, so let's go check those out. Oh, I can't see much, it's really overgrown. Whoa. Whoa. I'm pedaling pretty hard, I can't see much. And up here, and stop. Whew. That's very enduro stage style. So now, wait for it to connect. We want standard mode. So that's now going to be locking out at, so anything below 3G, it locks out, and anything above 1.5G as a bump, it opens up at. So, and then on the flat it's 4G. No, hang on. The front and rear have different thresholds actually. I can adjust it to more or less sensitive, bump sensitivity, but I'm going to go with just a standard tune here. So yeah, it's going to take some learning this. Let's go. and stop. It feels so much faster. Quite hard work actually. It's quite a it's a good piece of trail to test that on. It's perfect. There's a bit of everything. I just wish I could see through the ferns. It's quite the hazard. But yeah, it feels so natural, and it just feels like when you stand on the pedals to sprint, you're really rewarded with forward momentum. That's something I didn't really think about until just then. I think when you're leant over, really attacking like a flat track, it's quite easy to pedal strike. So yeah, it definitely helps bring the bike up in its travel a little bit. I've got short cranks anyway, but yeah, really, really natural feeling. It's so good. Who knew something so simple would be so good? Ah! Messed that up again. Wait. Shock feels wicked though. Just a great shock. Wait. So it's a good few hours now on the new Fox Live valve on my bike. We've done quite a varied amount of trails. It is quite overgrown, so it's tricky to kind of see where you're going. But on the flatter, more undulating trail, it's exquisite. It just feels so natural. You put your pedal strokes in and you just go forwards. None of it gets stolen in compressing the suspension. So in reality, it's a very complex system, but a very simple problem to fix. There are a few things that made it slightly complex to fit. I had to fit a 220mm rotor to the back of the bike. I don't think it's really designed to work on this Uno, but we made it work. The packaging in the frame made it very, very tight in the frame as well, but there's plenty of room and we double checked it. A couple of the things I would like to see on the app, which it doesn't have yet, maybe Fox is going to bring this out, but is some accelerometer raw data, telemetry from the system. So actually how fast my front and rear wheels were accelerating, and maybe they could give me that data in some kind of format that makes sense in terms of how aggressive the bumps were, or how many times in a run I locked out, for instance. I'd like to know, because I don't really know in between a corner when I'm unweighting the bike whether the shock is locking out or not. And it's so quiet I can't hear it. So it would be nice to know and have some data on the app that kind of tells you on a Strava ride or something, on that segment you locked out 4 times and they were in these places. That would be really interesting. But so far, absolutely blown my mind. I love it. It's everything I wanted it to be. One feature that I didn't actually realise is that you can get a bar mounted lever, so a wireless remote. Now on this bike that doesn't really make any difference for me, but on the coil shock, which you could fit to a downhill bike, you could set up the Live valve auto lockout so that it wasn't fully firm, so that it basically just added some low speed compression, so like maybe halfway through the adjuster, for instance. That would mean that, say you come out of the woods onto the bike park section in your race, where all the jumps are and the berms, the bike would sit up a little bit more because you've got more low speed compression being applied to the shock. And then if you set the lever up to fully lock, it would mean when you come into the sprint sections, you can fully lock the shock out. And I think this is maybe what a lot of the World Cup riders are doing. So they're having a section on the track that auto locks, and then they're controlling the full lock on the handlebar. It's probably slightly different for the RockShox Flight Attendant, but It was just a thought that came into my head when I saw that you could get the lockout lever. Maybe we'll get some live valve for Steve's bike because he runs a coil shock, and he can try the bar lever.